Current temperature in my neck of the woods in Georgia is 91 degrees. Wet bulb temperature of 94. Which means, and yes, the little AccuCheck app says what it feels like, and in the humidity section, if you click on it, it'll typically give you a wet bulb. But they're not very accurate. They're sort of, county by county, not like it's pinpointed. That you'd need a higher degree of thing. But I figured that'd be what we talk about starting out. Wet bulb temperature, because it's what's important. That 4 degrees is what makes it to where I can walk home now, rather than having to wait till nightfall, like more than likely I will have to do in 2 years, if I do not have a vehicle by then. At least something like a moped. Now I hear you asking, but why? We are 98 degrees running, so why not just go and be fine? It's 91 degrees outside, you're 98. Yes. And if it were a dry 91, while it would be unpleasant, it would still be livable. But with a wet bulb temperature of 94, that means it is 4 degrees from being lethal. At 98 degrees wet bulb, it doesn't matter how much you sweat. It doesn't matter how much liquids you drink. It doesn't matter what you do. After about 98 on wet bulb, you just cook. Now there is a way to avoid it, but it's air conditioning, which makes the problem worse overall. Or it's, spitballing it, like possibly like an ice suit or something that would cool the air around you. Because that's literally what you have to do. Because when it detects a wet bulb temperature, that's as hot as it's gonna get and as cool as the wetness can make it. Because at that point, it doesn't matter how much you're sweating, you're not gonna bring down the heat of the overall machine. And after 98 degrees, well, the higher up you go, the worse damage it does. And at that point, it's more of a time game. More than 5 minutes at over 108 degrees, and you will start to do permanent brain damage to both cognitivity as well as the ability to maintain structure. Hence, you're going to start going into heat exhaustion. Hello, everyone. I cannot see the names. Give me just a second. Hello, Faith Nick. You're the #1 comment, and I don't know what the little heart means, but hello. We're talking about wet bulb temperature since it feels like a pretty good thing to talk about. I'm walking home here in the beautiful county of Harley, Georgia, where I really wish they would either commit to native species or do better as far as like putting shade trees and the like in. One of the two. Either bring me a bunch of non-native shade givers or give me a whole bunch of native plants that'll help balance out the ecosystem. But being the temperature, I was talking about wet bulb temperature and how, according to the weather app right now, where I'm at, it is 91 degrees with a wet bulb temperature of 94 degrees. Now, Fahrenheit, that is. If it was Celsius, I would literally I wouldn't be talking to you. I would just be on fire right now. But at the same time, it's about 4 degrees below lethal. So definitely if you've got pets in Harley, bring them on in, get them some cold water. If you're outside, keep the fridges hydrated, because at 4 degrees below the lethal limit, it basically means you will not die quickly. As long as you stay hydrated, your sweat will still cool you. Also, this is kind of a call to action on the part of all the people that are watching in chat. It's the reason why I know my roommate and best friend David is somewhere in chat. This is also partially in case I, suddenly start to lose touch with reality and fall out halfway home. Because unfortunately, there is no safety net. There is no safe break And that's my walking stick you're seeing bob in and out of the camera shot, I'm sure. But it's about 4 miles. Would you care to join me for about 3 of those said 4 miles? And 2 miles will come on the neighborhood that is not rich, is not richly built, but it starts at $300,000 per place. And I'm assuming that's your rent. Brand new though, you'll just have to contend with, the animals from the displaced woods around you. What is this? I can see chat, but I can't see chat. I can just see it moving. I see 2 redacted messages. Okie dokie. Well, friend, you can say what you like as long as it's not a slur. We might argue and debate over it if I notice it and disagree with it. On a personal note, I notice your name is Fate something some. I would rather you not directly pray in my chat, but that's because this is a secular chat and I'm an atheist by nature, so. The weather is hot. I would pick up garbage, but unfortunately, the bag that I was going to hang my trash off of is full of food for my animals. I had to do the processing today for the food in the restaurant, so I butchered a ton of chicken. And in the process of that, chopping up chicken breasts for the good customers in my area, I also trimmed the tender and the tendons and the tendons and the fatty bits. I cut those off, and once I get a full bowl full, I go ahead and deep fry them for the dogs. That's a fun one. Give me a second. That is actually a native plant. That is a good plant. I don't know the exact name because I'm still learning, and it's a lot easier to learn things to be upset about. Oh, by the way, Lake Lanier super yacht blew up. Nobody died, thankfully. Yay. But the blown up lot injured roughly 25 people. One of them being a small child that wasn't even involved and wasn't... See, that's what bugs me, y'all. The rich people just ruin everything. They're stupid. I'm so fancy boat getting blown up, which, by the way, it probably didn't affect them so badly. Scalded this poor child, and they're going to be scarred and scared of the river or lake for quite some time. Was it worth it, you rich douche? Why not take your stupid yacht out on the ocean? Or are you that kind of rich asshole that you can't afford to go to the ocean with your mega yacht, but you can afford a mega yacht and you want to show off in front of us? Hey, y'all, how about I take a minute instead of bitching about the rich and I'll show you something cool here? Because here's something cool that you won't get to see unless people let their yards go to seed. And this kind of lets you see the difference between natives and non-natives. Now, I want you to look. Give me a second. Let me plant that stick. I want you to look at how these plants work together. Natives, and if you get down here where the little animals run and roam, you'll see lots of little burrows, lots of little areas to cut through and run through. If, however, you get over here into the white colonizer grass, and we can do this hopefully without getting hit. Give us a second. There we go. Now picture you're a ground animal trying to move through this instead. Do you see? I'm gonna have to move right quick. Do you see where it would be difficult and why this particular area, so many possums, armadillos, squirrels, and various other animals get bit down here? Can you understand why? Also, it goes without saying, but please don't try to replicate the crazy shit I'm doing. It is not safe to do this on a Georgia road. Half these people are in a hurry to get where they're going and would happily turn me into roadkill if I delayed them in getting to their Piggly Wiggly visit. That is a joke, as the Piggly Wiggly has been closed for over 5 years, replaced by Pawn Shop in Europa. I have not had a chance to go there recently. Last time I went, they had good shit at a good price. It's a pawn shop for locals, so it's a good place. Here's another fun plant if I can get there without hurting myself. I finally figured out what those pretty fellas or ladies were named. And those pretty fellas and ladies would possibly have the ability to kill my friend. So I'm not picking them and bringing them home, no matter how pretty they are. That is bergamot. If I pluck it and I get the oils out of it or whatever makes the delicious smell, I can make the house smell like brewed tea all the time. And now, if you find said pretty flower in your area, so can you. Like I said, life is an adventure as long as we don't die. That plant there is one of the things that might make you want to die. It will not kill you unless you're a very small child or a very old person. But its sap is caustic. Its berries will make you shit your guts out. It's been 10 minutes and none of my shit's monetized anyway. Its berries will make you want to shit your guts out. And it's just a no bueno all the way around plant. But pretty to look at. And for the critters, it makes good shade. Just not very good for humans. I still have a viewer. I'm happy to see it. Does my heart good. That's a sunflower plant getting ready to bloom, or a dandelion plant, I should say. Not sunflower. And dandelions are a wonderful, in case of an emergency, food supplement. They're similar to collard greens in the sense that they are nutritional and you can eat them. And nobody's here. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. My troubles are all gone. There's no one here to find me. But you gotta have friends. And I hope nobody's drunk. This is what you would call a thorn plant. And that's what you'd call a death wish. We're about to hike it as soon as it clears out. But if you notice, this plant that I cannot really identify, but it has a coating on it. That shit will make you itch like crazy. And I don't know what it is, but as I hit the crap out of my bag, I certainly don't want to touch it. So let me just wipe that and that lovely cleaner grass down there. I don't know what it's properly called. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But it's real good if you're just wiping your stuff along it at wiping stuff off. Now I need to avoid these little poisonous fellas, and we continue on our journey. Like I said, they're putting in a whole something over there. A big old hole in the forest. But they can't put a safe walk in for anybody else. Thank you, Cottersville. Thank you, you Harley. Thank you, Bartow. I don't know who I'm thanking in particular, but all of you do such a good job taking care of us pedestrians. And my staff about pinched my nipple off. That's just something y'all get if you're here. And since nobody's here, I guess that's just something for the viewers later. A hidden toy for later. I gotta be real careful here, because if you notice, the ground literally gets washed out because the assholes planted non-native, non-sinking species in. So nothing here is gonna stay. And since nothing can stay and take root, every time it rains real good and hard and there's a washout, so you can see fungus growing there, it's so taken care of through here. But when you get a washout and you got non-native crap in here, what happens is everything gets washed out and dies. Then you get left with this dull, dusty crap. And the problem with that is just that. It ain't gonna seed nothing. It ain't gonna protect nothing. And as a byproduct, this is now unsafe to walk along unless you have proper, I would say training, but nobody trained me to do what I do. I just, healthy love of not getting hit by stupidly big trucks or Nazi adjacent vehicles. That was an older Tesla. He might have bought it before we all knew Musk was a Nazi. As is tradition and why I take the more dangerous route. Hello, Mr. Rebar, that's one day probably going to kill a biker and or a passenger in a car. But again, our good county can't be fucked with to bother with that. Again, you could send a worker out here with a sawzall, take care of that in like a day. But again, they don't care. Same as these will be here, and I'll bring them up every time we walk by. Hello, ankle breaker. Hello, ankle breaker. Hello, ankle breaker. Hello, ankle breaker. Hello, foam garbage. And see, this one is technically property, though I guess this is county's property and not their property. Another group of people that are both wise and secretive. Wise because they got a house right off the river. Secretive because I've been walking this route forever and I've never seen them. I saw an old man sitting out here with a truck for quite some time one day. Let's take a look at some of the pretty flowers, because at least this portion, it seems these people are trying to do right. And if you notice, you can see all the grass working together. Under layer with an upper layer with an upper layer, nothing drowning the others out, nothing killing anything else, just a pretty balance. And then you got this, chaos. Like I said, y'all, it's up to us because the bigwigs don't care. And try as I might, I can't seem to get anyone else around me to actually care about the planet around us. Sort of one of those, fuck you, I got mine, who cares? But will it give me money? So, yeah. Plant native species, check in around you. It's real easy to be negative, it's real hard to be positive. I'm trying to stick on the positive. In other positive news, according to the WAJCT, that's a mouthful. According to one of the news sites that my phone pulls up to both amuse and disturb me, the Georgia ball. Oh, look at that. That's a nice dust devil. Don't know if y'all can see that like I can see it. But yeah, y'all, without a ground covering, get ready. Dust is coming. The heat of the day, with nothing to cover the ground, will heat up the ground. Anything that does not retain moisture, especially in this red Georgia clay, will turn to dust. As that dust kicks up, more and more, it will cause more and more of those style of dust devils. Bad for car engines, bad for old people, bad for young people, bad for everybody. I guess good for privatized medicine. I guess all right for corrupt, evil governments. But as far as for people, it's like, notice, the ground covering they put down for their cars is staying in place. That's because of the unique blend of crush and run, water, concrete powder, and big old chunks. Unless we get a real ripper of a windstorm through here, they are being very responsible with their teeny tiny parking area. They are, however, and I don't think it's them, I think it's the company, they are ever not being very responsible with taking care of their red dirt problem. But again, who the fuck am I? I'm just your average cook. So technically, I guess that's a bit deceptive. I realized today as I was standing there listening to an old song that I thought was still new until I realized it wasn't, that more or less, I'm no longer a line cook. I haven't been a line cook in a couple months. Technically, I'm a prep person that happens to cook. Right now, I'm about to be tripping through these little burrows and whatnot. But I'm still happy to see it because a lot of this, that's an asshole can't stay on his side of the road. But a lot of this is natural grass with a little bit of this colonizer crap mixed in. But the natural grass is choking out the colonizer grass because it doesn't have enough to get a good handhold in all these places. Like I said, it's all just, this is the safer side of the road to walk on for the time. Because over there, as I've shown, is a lot of washouts. And with how particularly hot it's been, it's probably very loose ground over there. And I don't want to put myself in that kind of danger, even if it would be a little bit amusing. Also down the line it looks like, but I'm not positive. That might just be extra crap on the line. Oh, yeah. But little kids with their little toys and their little ticks. Again, sorry, I know it's tried and true and tested and practically a dad joke by now, but for real though, little fellas, if you're driving a truck that jacked up and you're not doing crazy jacked up truck things like the demolition derby, is that even still a thing? Then what are you even doing with your life? What are you doing? You're just wasting space and gas and making good trucks too expensive for normal people. Because don't get me wrong, 10 years ago, yeah, the homemade monster truck was like a symbol. You not only loved your truck, you could jack that bad boy up. You had some skill level. I'm sorry the camera's so low. I'm kind of having to keep my body very, very flush right now. Because if you don't, well, what's that saying about if you don't use it? Okay, here we go. Sorry, I had a teachable moment. These are those non-native grasses. This is what gets otters and turtles and all sorts of our other little woodland friends murdered. Because, bad angle. Because when they're in this very slick, I'm having to be careful myself walking through it, but this very slick, very difficult to get through grass, some of which is almost serrated with how edgy it is. Give me a second. Woo! Slick grass now. There we go. I'm trying to be courteous as I'm technically right now walking on somebody's yard and I'm not trying to show their stuff or their house or anything like that. But the reason we try to plant native plants anywhere we can, everywhere we can, and we try to speak on behalf of planting those, is because if you give the wildlife a chance, most of the time the wildlife will adapt to us. I mean, if you set up trail cameras in New York, as they have seen and they have done it, there are coyotes on the rooftops of New York. They use the fire escapes and various other gutter systems, all that. Nature finds a way not to be too Jurassic Park. If we give it even the littlest bit of a chance, nature will find a way to adapt. Even the non-native crappy grasses and such get used, but it's like using, I don't know, wet gas in your vehicle. It'll make it, but it's not good. It's not good for it. It'd be like me drinking liquor on the, well, no, that'd be downright destructive. It'd be like me drinking a dark soda, like my personal favorite, Dr. Pepper. Sponsor me, friends. I want free soda. But like if I was drinking Dr. Pepper on the walk, or if I wanted to support garbage and was drinking Coca-Cola, then yeah, I would, be giving my kidneys a lot more of a run for their money. Right now, we're about to take advantage of this moment of silence and run like a motherfucker across this road. Because we run. Because right over there and right back there is our deck. Whee! Okay. I can finally see the chat, y'all. Can y'all see the turtles? I can't see the turtles through the camera. There's at least 5 or 6 of those cute little fellas down there. If and when Forget-Me-Not ever comes down to visit and we go on the river tubing, which again, I don't think she understands that it's more than just, we'll go this weekend. There's a lot goes into planning out a tubing expedition. For one, neither one of us officially own inner tubes. So we're going to have to hook up with that tiny ma and pa company, which I'm happy to support, that does the river tours. For the record, if I'm not badly mistaken, the river tours are just, they give you a tube, and at the end of the road, basically where my house is, they'll pick you up. And if you park, trick pull, And if you park down by the area where they let you off at, in some areas, they'll take you back to your vehicle, which is handy because otherwise you'll be walking through all my poison ivy plant friends here and poison oak. And I want to rip them out, and I even have a glove for it, but I do not have the time today. And with it being 94 degrees wet bulb, 91 not, I think it best that I just be skedaddling home at a safe but steady pace. But since I'm alone and dead air is the nightmare of anyone on here, I guess I'll do the next thing. For this one, you can blame Jesse, my coworker, telling me I had a nice singing voice and he really liked this song. So let's give it a try, I guess. Oh, how do you do, young Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside and rest for a while in the warm summer sun? I've been walking all day and I'm nearly done. And I see by your gravestone you were only 19 when you joined the Great Fall in 1916. Well, I hope you died quick, and I hope you died clean. Oh, Willie McBride, was it slow and obscene? Did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some loyal heart is your memory enshrined. Yeah, I missed a few lines there. That though you died back in 1916, to that loyal heart you're forever 19. Or are you a stranger without even a name? Forever enshrined behind some old glass pane, in an old photograph, torn, tattered, and stained, and faded to yellow in a brown leather frame. Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did they sound the death march when they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the fifes play the flowers of the forest? And no, I can't help but wonder now, Willie McBride, do all those that lie here know why they died? Did you really believe them when they told you the cause? Did you really believe that this war would end ours? Oh, the suffering, the sorrow, the glory, the shame, the killing and dying, it was all done in vain. Oh, Willie McBride, it all happened again. And again, and again, and again, and again. Did they play the drum slowly? Did they play the fife slowly? I keep messing up that line. If they beat the drum slowly, did they play the fife slowly? Hey, y'all, I think the river's actually opened up for fishing today. That's pretty cool for y'all. Anyone that wants to go fishing at the river by the Styles, I do believe it's open to the public today. If it is not, or I happen to be wrong, I would contact the Etowah Anglers. But it is in fact open to the public on select days, and it is in fact one of the nicer fishing spots. And it is nice when the people actually share the fishing spots. I wonder if it's still open. How you doing? I hope it's still open and they just pulled in for the day, but their rigging appears dry. It might just be backed up at the dock at the moment. For the record, this particular area, as I'm not going over there to bother the fishermen, will sneak over there some other time. But they don't really have an official dock so much as a good mud bank. Which again, if you're like us in Georgia, you can set a canoe out from a mud bank. You can set out most flatboats from a mud bank. But for our dear friend there in his boat, you could set it out from the mud bank as easily. And I don't think he wanted to donate his trailer to the side of the river. I don't blame him. I am not, well, one more shot of it. See, I don't want to be one of those creeps like doing the creepy film people when they're not looking channels. So we're not doing that, but I will show you what the area looks like with people actually utilizing it. Because it is nice that the person who owns this part of the river will share their bank with the folks in this area every once in a while. Also, Etowah Anglers is a club, and y'all, like I say, community is very important. Be a part of your community. Help out where you can. Now, not everyone has a safe community, and that also needs to be looked into at times. Because if you're in an unsafe area, unfortunately, the internet might be your only set of community. And if that's the case, while I feel very bad for you, it's not your fault. And I would do my best to cultivate a good, happy, healthy community. For example, if my toxic attitude and occasional negativity gets you down, don't listen. I get it. I want to be positive and uplifting, but like I explained several times on the video this morning, or try to, the internet's geared to make us more negative, y'all. It's geared to make us more argumentative. It seems to be a feature, not a bug. Because again, okay, for example, my coworkers and such, it is the question you will get asked every day, especially if you were off on a holiday. Well, how was your holiday? Well, how was your holiday? Well, how was your holiday? Well, how was your 4th? How was your 4th? How was your Independence Day? And honestly, for me, I didn't celebrate. There ain't shit to celebrate in this shithole country. We're fucking goose stepping into fascism. And in my opinion, the real Independence Day is June 19th or Juneteenth. It's not one that I got to learn about in school, and I personally really hope that kids do actually learn about it. On that subject, because I'm slowly getting better at pinning these in, according to the Smithsonian website, my park, Stone Mountain Park here in Georgia, I say it's mine like I can actually go to it. It's a very nice trail park, and I have been there. They host the Highland Games, or at least they used to, every year, and that's a hoot and a half to go to if you can afford to get in. It's not that expensive, but again, hard times, we be hitting on those doors. But either way, it's a fun place. It's a nice park, and Stone Mountain itself is a neat little roadside, tourist trappy location, as outside of Rock City, and I don't believe Rock City has any, Stone Mountain is literally the largest rock in Georgia. That's why it's called Stone Mountain. It's basically one giant stone. Now, there is history behind that, and I'm not entirely positive, and I don't want to lie to you. As a child, I was told it's a stone because the dude who carved it and carved the Confederate traitorous pieces of shit that were on the side of it. But according to when I was a kid, my teacher, the guy who carved it basically carved the mountain itself into the stone shape to make the aforementioned Stone Mountain. Now, I've also heard in high school that no, that is just a natural rock formation, and that it did indeed form just one giant stone there. And having been to, sorry y'all, a little warm out today, but having been to the parks, the national parks in Illinois, near where Tony lived, I can tell you, yeah, there are some pretty big ass rocks, and a mountainside looks very different than Stone Mountain. But I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a geologist. I didn't take those courses. I just read a lot of books and shit. And I find it hilarious that basically the white supremacist shrimp dick traitors who literally, okay, y'all, here's some fun game. Let's play a game. Let's name things that lasted longer than the Confederacy. Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. The original My Little Pony almost lasted longer than the Confederacy if it had only gone for 2 more seasons. Let's see, what else? Star Wars, the entire franchise, has lasted longer than the Confederacy. Anyone else care to name something that lasted longer than 7 years? Because for someone who has such a glorious past, my God, that's a tiny past. That's a tiny and embarrassing past. But let's be clear, as the Smithsonian did when they did the little project, and as my good people at Stone Mountain have pointed out, yeah, it was a very racist park, built in a very racist time. But just because it was intended for that purpose doesn't mean it has to be used for that purpose. Good examples and bad examples, folks. That's the thing. Because while statues and all this bullshit's important, here's the thing. If it was put in directly after the Civil War, you got something to say on history there. That's a good... For example, I don't personally have a problem with the Confederate cemetery because we're not glorifying them. They were our boys. Despite the fact they made a terrible mistake, despite the fact they sided on the wrong side of history and the wrong side of the war, like it or not, they were Americans and we should accept and educate people on that fact. Here's my problem. Stone Mountain, most of the statues, the General Lee Monument, the Stonewall Jackson Monument, and the various other monuments, those all came about in the 1930s and 1920s. Now, who in chat can tell me what was going on during the 1930s and 1920s? I'll give you a hint. The motherfucker had a dream. He had a dream, and he did everything peacefully. He's the right's perfect pick-me. And they put a bullet in his head. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and it's been officially shown in reports, had Martin Luther King murdered. So for the record, whenever someone tries to tell you, well, why can't y'all do it like King did? Well, we tried once. You shot him. I wouldn't say to try it that way again. There seems to be a lethal result to that way. So, moving forward though. The parks, due to President Trump's, I'm just going to call it the limp dick wham wham proposal, make it to where anyone with a fragile ego who sees a national park that represents something, for example, the Silver Comet Trail lines up very well at points with the Trail of Tears. If you go to the Silver Comet Trail, at a point in which it links with the Trail of Tears, there is a little placard explaining what the severity of the Trail of Tears is, what that story is behind that. Because I'll give you a hint, y'all, it wasn't a fun time for anybody involved. But the white folks had a much more fun time at the Trail of Tears than any native than any native person. I guarantee you. I promise. But it's because the army soldiers, because at that time that's all that was there, the cavalry soldiers had meat and rations and were allowed to hunt. The natives who were traveling that path did not have anything but a dough ration, which was a cornmeal ration, a grease ration, and that was it. If they hunted, then they were basically anything they captured was taken by the soldiers and eaten. They could watch the soldiers eat it, and if they tried to interfere, they were beaten to death. Basically, they were given that as a reward. If they said, hey, I hunted that animal, that's my kill, or hey, I got that for my family, could my family at least have some? The soldiers would promptly kick the person to death. Oh, I was in the army, a grand thing. Again, why am I not happy about the 4th of July? Why don't I just want to launch some bullshit in the air and celebrate? What are we celebrating, y'all? Genocide? Murder? Not paying a debt to England? Because let's face it, that's all that was. I mean, again, I'm an asshole. I'm edgy. Me, like most of my generation, was failed by this country. Just unlike a lot of the people around here, I know who to blame. And I'm not going to hide behind, well, it made us better. No, it did not make anyone better. Like I said, one of these days when I get a partner or somebody to walk with me through this, we're gonna bring a shovel, and we're probably gonna upset some rich fucks by digging a grave for some of our woodland friends. Because there's a lot of carcasses on this road, and that can't be good for the environment either. And y'all, can I just be clear about something when it comes to that very hilarious thing? They're destroying a flag. I mean, I get it. Woohoo, patriotic boner. Proud to be an American. Yeah, that. But at the same time, you're beating the shit out your flag, friend. The flag that you have purchased from your local Walmart there is meant to go on like, don't go after any of these nice people, but it's meant to go on like a porch like that. It's meant to go on like a display, like the pepper mill. I could see you putting a flag like on the edge of the pepper mill. When you take a flagpole that's intended to just be stuck somewhere and sat up and face no more of a breeze than the, gentle summer breeze I'm currently walking through, then yeah, you're probably going to beat the shit out of it if you're just running it at 70 miles an hour down the road. But I mean, it's your freedom day. Who am I to judge you on this, our freedom day? Like I said, it's a joke, y'all. It's just a joke, just a little ha-ha. Considering, it's Independence Day. We're celebrating the fact that the president got rid of all sorts of veterans aid for the sake of giving billionaires a nice big tax break. And I already hear you Fox News watchers, yes. The poor are not going to have to pay taxes on their tips anymore. Again, y'all do realize if you made under $5,000 in tips, you never had to claim them, right? And as a tipped employee, someone that works for those said tips, you're not going to make over $5,000 in tips. At least not in this area. Maybe if you worked in one of them high-end places in Atlanta. But out here, please. If the people out here have rich enough places to get places like this, they're also stingy enough to not tip so much as a penny that they don't got to. That's the business I was telling you about. The truck that just went by with the little canoes on it. It's a river tour business, and I'm not even knocking them. I think they're doing a great job. I just hope that they actually do like educational parts of the tour. Talk about the fact that that river they're riding up and down on for the native peoples was basically their highway. That was the original highway. These paths that we're walking on now were originally more of hunting grounds, and you would travel along. But when you traveled back in the day here, you would utilize the river system. And there's a chance, look up the video by, I believe Milo Rossi's his name, Mini Minute Man on the various ADHD websites. And that was an armadillo this morning. I can see the carapace now clearly in the baking sun. Unfortunately, it also looks like a younger armadillo, which is very, very sad. Just another animal that got wiped out by basically people being dicks. People being dicks and the planet not being able to keep up with how dickish humanity is. But yeah, y'all. I'm assuming David is either busy. Whoop, there goes my staff. I am assuming David's either busy or currently napping. I hope currently napping and not too busy. I already got my 1 like, so I'm very happy for that. Oop. That's the problem with a good walking stick, but no. I tightened my cap on too much and now I can't open it. Ooh. Using my bicep in my hand. There we go. Like I said, the problem with a good staff, because one of our customers, and I think Alan's roommate, commented on how big my walking stick is. This is what I call my supersized shillelagh. I destroyed the ball, sadly, so I put some edges on it instead of the ball. I guess no longer a shillelagh, technically. But it's still a damn fine stick, made of a root, solid as a bat. And yeah, y'all, I might not sound Scottish, I might not sound Irish, but where my ancestors came from, all that, I'm what you call diet white. I'm not mighty white, I'm diet white. I'm a mix, whoop. And I'm proud of it. If I could, I'd purge the whiteness out my system. Just cause that be the, ew. But ew. Kidding. Come back. Oh no. I chased off all the fragile white ones. Okay, I gotta say the triple melt. Let me go ahead and get my spit back in my mouth. Better. The triple melon lemonade by Calypso is far better than the Southern Splash sweet tea by Calypso. That's just my personal opinion now. Because the other one, it got hot and it started to taste a bit like piss. This one, well, it's hot and now it tastes like candy. It tastes like one of them old school, like, juicy drop whatevers. It's not bad, but I'm probably going to hate this sweetness by the time we get to mile 3. Currently at the 46-minute mark. And at this point, I am now covered in seed pods, and I have since stopped sweating. Now would be the time that I am concerned that I might be suffering from heat exhaustion a bit. So, in order to test myself more or less, I'm gonna sing a lovely and happy song that my grandpapa used to sing at times. Yeah, I'm definitely having a heat exhaustion moment. But my grandpapa would hum it. And then one day I heard it, and I connected it to the beat I used to hear him hum, and I heard him try his damnedest to whistle. So I'm gonna try my best to do a song and try my best cognitively to remember all the lyrics. Join me if you know it, if you will. Give me a moment. Oh, I was born on a Dublin street where the... I should know this song. Oh, I was born on a Dublin street where the... Y'all, we got a problem now. I can't remember a battle march that I used to sing every day. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let me see if I can think of something else. A different song. A different beat to my heart. Nope. Just blank. This isn't good. Well, you know what they say. Life is short, and you never know when your clock's going to get clocked out. I hope I get to continue to bring you these fun shows, and I hope that I don't die. Real hope there, y'all. There was a lady that was covered on, what was it? I believe it was PBS Eons. See, my cognition is not gone, just long-term memories. Those banks are getting a little scary. Well, you know, I'm at that loss of I'm not exactly going to start giving all my information to the internet. That would be dumb. But at the same time, my brain's sitting here going, why can't I remember the lyrics to Black and Tans? Sun's getting covered up a second. That's good. My oh my, I can see my face and I am not that pretty of a man. But we're doing good. Here's a fun one I didn't know about. Looks deceptive. There are two types. Queen Anne's bonnet and this one, which I believe this is the deadly variety. Queen Anne's bonnet, pretty, and used in several... Uh-oh, I got something in my shoe. That's not good. But Queen Anne's bonnet is a pretty plant and used in several bouquet-style plants as baby's breath at times. That particular plant is a hemlock. Here's a problem. Kids my age in Georgia would pluck that one up all the time to make a lot of little flowers we used to carry around. Don't judge me. Flower arrangement is a very manly activity at times, especially when you're doing it like I am. But, you know, I ain't gonna die yet, and I'm still all sweaty from the walk. The other thing that's weird about this climate thing, something that I was saying studying. Studying can't be fun, y'all. I'm sorry. If you're having fun doing it, you might still be learning, but I definitely wouldn't call it like studying. Studying's supposed to be boring. Now, I love studying about nature, so none of it's ever boring for me. I mean, sometimes it's hard to identify and shit starts to blend together, like all these various plants I'm walking through. I know quite a handful of them be poison ivy and poison oak, but what you gonna do? It's either walk through the poison plants or get hit by one of these lovely tourists. So, pick your poison. Either one's bad. Whew. It's sort of like, you know, kill your mother planet and fly around in a stupidly expensive pavement princess, or kill yourself by walking everywhere, and whether you're ready or not, be ready. Hey, I got a viewer. How you doing, viewer? I promise I'm not going to die if I can help it. It's currently 94 degrees, and it might have gone up since I checked. And right now I'm a little bit more cohesive or cohesion. I'm a little bit more here because at the moment I'm walking in the undergrowth underneath this tree line here in Georgia. What we're about to come to, unfortunately, though, is where they decide to put in the high-end luxury apartments and the styles, and I'm about to be walking in the sunshine again. Wet bulb around, oh, they're already gone. Wet bulb around 95 or 94 degrees still, hopefully, because I can still feel the cool in the air. Here's a pro tip. When you're walking and it suddenly feels like you're getting just blow drier, yeah, that's a sign that you really need to get to safety or really let your core cool down. Because much like a vampire in Skyrim, I want to say. Oblivion, it's a continuous burn. In Skyrim, a vampire in Skyrim, I can bring my body temperature down with an air conditioner with a cool beverage, but it won't stay down. And as long as I'm out in above 98 degree wet bulb, I'm going to continually be cooking my body. And I'm just your basic line worker. I've been in the kitchen, been up since about midnight. Just finished my shift about an hour ago, and I tripped a little. Finished my shift about an hour ago. I had to make that extra money this time because I love my babies, my little fur babies, my animals, and they all need their shots and they all need their stuff done. So I've been going ahead and working through the breaks. So chalk it up to woke up at midnight, did my live streams. Did my live stream at the walking in portion as the sun rose. Did not sit down yet today. Waiting to sit down when I get home. That's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to sit down again. I would sit down on the walk home, but sadly, unless I so choose to want to sit in a poison patch or an anthill or a carcass, there's not a lot of places to sit on this road. I feel like by design, actually, because I'm one of like 4 people that I know, and of the 4, I'm the only one that's, well, we'll say the color and fragility that I am. And for the record, I kind of feel bad for them too, because let's just say there's a reason I don't celebrate the 4th. I celebrate Juneteenth if anyone around me celebrating. But y'all can keep your shitty fucking barbecue day. I don't care for it no more. I was on the fence about it during the Biden administration, but knowing that our country is happy to goose step back into fascism, I'm good. At this point, if you need me, I'm Canadian, eh? For sake of the highest paid military in the entire goddamn world, ICE, I'm going to point out that's a joke. I have my social security card. I have all my bullshit. I am Georgia's son, and I am Georgia's fucking problem. Because, yeah, I might be the son of Georgia, but I sure as shit ain't proud of my southern heritage. The heritage of racism, cowardice, and well, that's about all we need, right? I mean, I could tell you how Georgia started out as a penal colony, much like Australia. Actually, maybe that's what I'll do for some of the walls, because I have been having, like, again, y'all, I don't just want to get on here and be like, yes, America sucks. Yes, we all suck. Yes, we need to do better, and if we don't do better, we fucking suck. I mean, true facts, but hardly a inspiring message. So, give me a second, y'all. I'm not sitting. But I am catching my breath and redistributing my load and finding out whatever the hell's in my fucking shoe to get it out. It's 56 minutes in. I can say fucking, this is not a stream for kids. I do not intend it for kids. And for the record, oh lordy, when I say Georgia has a drinking problem, this kind of crap I mean. Just liquor bottles everywhere. Either Georgia's got a drinking problem or somebody in the houses nearby has a drinking problem. And either way, that's depressing and sad. Sorry, y'all, I messed up the orientation of the camera. Don't know how much y'all can see, but that was a byproduct of the trail that I'm on. But not today, as you can probably tell, my ankle's fine. No, but now it's time for these $40 work shoes finally bit it. And I think I got to bite a piece of glass in my foot there, so that's going to be fun to walk home with. Up, on your feet. And away we go. I'm okay, y'all. It's hot, it's unpleasant. There's not a lot of shade, and there's way too many liquor bottles and garbage bottles. Oh, and there goes my liquid. And there appears to be an electrical line down. Thanks. The Calypso are not as good as Sobeys. Sobeys you can carry by the bottle top and the fucker don't drop. Okay, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's a byproduct of starting to succumb to heat exhaustion. I am, after all, getting veiny and sweaty, and I don't know why I thought the camera was turned around. Yay, disorientation, difficulty holding things. But the mosquitoes are going to push me forward, so here I go, because I'm not staying here to die here. Forward march. Not but 2 miles left of this broken shitty to go. And hey, at least if I die, I'll have an audience. Maybe no one on YouTube, but I'll have lots of people driving by. Because that's the beauty of all these back roads. While you truly feel completely and utterly alone, everyone is there. And the immature ones blow their horns at you and rev their engines so you get to really choke on their fumes. Sorry, y'all, I'm not going quiet. I know y'all don't want dead air. I'm just... temperature be cooking out here, yo. At least I'm able to stick to the shade for the moment. Very soon the shade is going to be a pleasant memory. And I can tell you right now, as the wind, I don't know if you can see the leaves wiggling on the trees. I don't think my camera's that good. But the wind through here picking up, but having actual things to siphon through, like shade and some of this ground cover that I don't know if y'all can tell. It's actually pretty deep. I don't know what type it is. I'm going to eventually find that out so I can give y'all more accurate information. But the darkness, the wind, all that niceness, yeah, it makes a difference. As well, y'all not going to feel it, I'm about to feel it. As I'm about to feel as we walk into the hairdryer section. And it looks like something's happening up here at the Styles area. Lots of vehicles. Not sure what. Possibly a family event. I don't know of any event that was on the calendars or anything. Then again, I haven't read the paper in quite some time. They did away with the free paper during the Trump administration the first time around, and I don't think that was a byproduct of the fat fascist. I think that was just a byproduct of all the people that read newspapers are dying. And now everyone who reads news articles reads them off their phone like I had done. I still have a couple news articles on my phone. I've already told you the highlights of all of them. And I personally hope that the state of Georgia defeats the Daughters of the Confederacy and the other dipshit inbreds that are trying to say, oh no, we should keep our racist kids park. Because I hate to tell you all this, but Stone Mountain is not really a kid's attraction. I don't know of many young kids that are just chomping at the bit to go to Stone Mountain. Like, I'm sure they will go in lieu of going to school or class. There is something going on there. A birthday, perhaps. A wedding, perhaps. It's got a little sign, and the sign has a balloon that was once inflated. Let's see what it says without dying. I assume it's a wedding of some kind because it's a pink sign. And it looks lovely. Something about bonds and something else. Honestly, more power to them. Y'all chose a particularly warm day to get married, but I ain't gonna judge you. Y'all can't control that a bit. Many years together and many happy days and nights. I wonder if this AutoZone is open. Because true, they sell expensive salty water, and I was just admonishing using dark sodas, but I could probably pick up a Starry. Starry's not on any boycott lists, and they've got an air conditioner, so I could chill in there for a minute, at least bring my body temperature down to where I start sweating again, and it's not just this weird little sheen. Hello, viewer. Is that you, David? Either way, on the way. Almost halfway there. Another beer can. And now we enter into the bright section. Well, not quite yet. I still get a moment of respite. My phone's got pollen and or dust on it. But yeah, y'all. I basically covered the news, sang a song that I knew. I got my book on me, but at the moment, being as the temperature rises and I'm trying to make it home safely, I don't think it would be wise to dig around in my bag and find it. And honestly, it seems a bit demoralizing to read about the end of ice and the melting of the glaciers while I'm melting out here. I did have a thought though, and I finally today at work at the last bit of the day, while I was debating leaving early so I could get out of here before high noon. Well, not before high noon, but you know, get a 30-minute jump on getting down the road. I thought I could in fact not. But while I was there killing time and waiting to get out, I went ahead and I finally got Audible to work out for me. So while I have not renewed my subscription, that's what I was hoping to avoid having to do. I do have access to all the books that I bought back when I was an Uber driver. And so I'm re-listening to Robert Sapolsky's Determined, which is basically the genius, I don't mean that sarcastically, but the genius and the neuroscientist giving a very good argument as to why free will is only an illusion. Yay, taxes are done. I'm in a bit of distress, but making it. And my shoe blew out on the side, so yay, all work boots all the time. Okay, now we're in the danger zone. But after the danger zone, the good news is I'll be home. It's just a matter of surviving through this, where unfortunately non-native species have been planted through thanks to our mutual overlords at the sod farms. And these non-native species of plants that are growing, much like what kills several types of small animals because they can't form burrows easily through them, now also kills pedestrians. Because while the county does not maintain these tripping, choking, grown together European grasses, they don't cut them, and they grow up as these thickets that are even hard to walk through because your foot crashes through and there's no undergrowth tunnels. It's just like walking on sponges. So as you try to walk, the ground pushes back up against you until you get to areas like this, where the poisonous plants and the non-poisonous kudzu have wound through it and killed a lot of it and allowed some of our more native grasses to grow in. Now, would native grasses be easy to walk through? No, but they would be easier, because in native grasses, much like over through here, trails are made. Trails that animals travel on that are much easier to walk. Unfortunately, as a people, and being that the trails are not all native grass, they're very full of fleas, deer tick, and it is tick season, and various other little dangers, including the random glass bottle from our lovely and most destructive of pests, Homo sapiens. This is David Attenborough signing off. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna die. I found some shade. I'm doing better. We're doing great. Found some shade and some nice. Yeah, I know. Nothing in this country ever happens fast except for terrible things. But with the nice undergrowth and the shade from the trees that's now gone, we got a moment of respite to breathe. Now, it's back to the choking fumes and the bunch of slack-jawed dipshits that can't stay on their side of the road. For that one, I am directly talking about the slack-jawed dipshit in the Bronco. And the only reason I'm saying that is the motherfucker was literally driving jaw agape. Thick-ass cocaine nerd glasses on, like he was John Travolta or Tom Cruise in one of them movies from back in the 90s. And again, just mouth agape. I don't understand how you can be in an air-conditioned vehicle going above the posted speed limit and driving like this. Yeah, what the fuck you doing, man? Are you not afraid to eat a bug? I would be afraid that as I drove, one of these nasty giant flesh-eating flies was going to land in my mouth. Then again, maybe I'm just different. The weight of the kids' food and the walking stick not helping is becoming quickly more of a burden that I can't very well abandon because it's got my sketch pad and a book and yarn And fuck, I'm regretting not having a damn backpack as I trip and die. We're doing great out here, folks. State of Georgia, wonderful place. Wonderful people. Wonderful places to walk. At least this one has a tiny nature trail because there's the smallest surviving of natural vegetation. Now, yes, it's all natural, it's all nature, but you can tell how grasses that work together, that stabbed right into the ankle. You can tell how grasses that are native work with the native lands that make it easier, which is why people back in the day grew practical shit and they kept asshole rich cunts out of it. My love of the rich is not getting better, but getting much worse through having to suffer through their idiocy in public planning and works. Trying to stay positive. I'm positive I'm pissed off. I'm positive that my state doesn't give the tiniest tiddly fuck. But if you listen to Georgia Pacific, oh, we care a great deal. We got more bald eagles now. I mean, you know, we're dealing with an ecological apocalypse of small ground-dwelling rodents like squirrels and groundhogs and voles and mice. We're dealing with an ecological imbalancing there. But we got the big stupid fucking screech birds. Yay! Look, that was mean, and I was hatting a bald eagle for no reason. But they are ugly screech birds, and literally, much like our country, everything you know about them is probably a lie. Fuck it, why not? We'll bash the bald eagle while I die. So, 1. Bald eagles are not super predators by any stretch of the imagination. Most of the time they are scavengers and they are fishermen. To make matters worse, they're not even nice scavengers. They particularly target smaller birds. Maybe the bald eagle was a good choice for America. 2, that iconic eagle screech, I can't do it justice, but that's okay because it's not an eagle screech. Eagles sound much more like a crow with laryngitis. They sort of screech call. There's nothing beautiful nor extravagant about that stupid fucking bird. Don't really have that much of a hatred for eagles, but I hate the fact that we're dedicating so much to a bird that doesn't even really belong here, but we're neglecting our natural wildlife like the barn owl, like the screech owl. But we got more bald eagles, isn't that great, y'all? You can let your little slack-jawed inbred dipshit kids that can't get their nose out their tablets stare up at the sky and go, wow, bird, before it catches fire in the 900 degrees heat. Oh yeah, there's probably enough fur to make a Trump-sized wig. I've been working on it, man, but I don't know what to say. It's rough. I'm gonna try. I had plans to do more cleaning today, but right now the plan's just to not die, to carry this stupidly heavy bag that my dumbass overloaded and get it home, and then make it to where I can at least think in solid sentences again. Oh, I'm trying my best, y'all. I'm doing my best not to die. Like I said, it's just so much. And it'd be so nice if there were... See, another thing that's bugging the shit out of me is just how many river cunts are here. At this point, it's pissing me off. Because all the fun we had on the river when I was younger, we had to earn the shit out of it. We were carving logs. We were tying bicycle bullshit into the trees and swinging off of it. We were building rafts out of garbage and shit. Because we didn't have fucking boats and inner tubes. And hell, half the time our parents didn't know we were on the river because, 3 kids drowned in the river and we lost a fireman in the very river everyone's playing in. And I'm trying not to be like angry about it, you know, but it's like, fuck. It feels like it's been weeks, months, years even since I've had days off, time off to enjoy myself and just relax. And yet every time I look up, it's, oh, well, at least that person's having fun. That person seems to be having fun. I wish I knew where their cheat codes were. Are we living in the same America? Are we living in the same tax bracket? Because it's like my 60 hours barely cover food. It's like I get invited out to shit and it's like, I can't do it. Just can't do it, can't afford it. And that's no matter what it seems like. It's not just the price everything's gone up. It's the price everything's gone up and the price you're getting paid has gone down in comparison to the price. Oh shit, lost the bag again. How do you get such strong arms? I'll tell you, it's not fun or easy. Boy, howdy, I wish I were like those pampered bitches that get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym and hop up and down in a room and pay an exuberant amount to some asshole to hop up and down in a room. Rather than, you know, out here in amongst nature. One of the few Americans that doesn't tie themselves to a vehicle by the neck. But boy, howdy, am I regretting that decision. No, I can at least take solace in the fact that even though I'm only buying the planet milliseconds, considering every time that international plumbing truck goes anywhere, it basically undoes everything I'm doing right now. But hey, y'all, at least you can see the route I walk. And maybe someday, in the next 20 years or 30 years, this shitty state might finally decide to put something in for the people that have to hike. Other than just tons of fucking garbage and non-native plants. It'd sure be nice if there was a natural trail here that could develop over time of people walking. That was just my drink shooting out of the fucking bottle. Because at the moment, I'm literally hopping along. I gotta take a second, y'all. Give me a second. Here, stare at the poison plants as they pop up out the ground all around me. Oh, it'll be okay. How wonderful. How typical and wonderful. I assume Bolin also took a shit all over the bathroom. Not in the litter boxes at all, eh? I love our animals, David, but they can be real assholes after a long day. And with that, I want to do something and be obnoxious about it. So give me a second. With that, I have finished my beverage that is in a bottle. You see the bottle? It is now trash. It is an empty receptacle. Am I going to and just leave it? No. Why? Because I'm not a piece of shit. Hey, all of you litter bugs, all of you dipshit twats out there, how about you quit using my good state as your trash can and instead throw it at your kids, throw it at your old people, throw it at some of the, oh, it's a her, throw it at some of the trash in your life. Because I'm tired of you fucks trashing my state. Sorry to be aggressive about it. I'm not the crying Indian. I'm the fucking raging agent. Raging agent. That fucking made sense. I'm the raging fucking white dude. I'm the raging Southern Cajun, I guess. I don't fucking know. I'm fucking tired of tripping over douchebags litter. I'm fucking tired of people denying that they have a drinking problem because, oh, I'll just drink a beer on the way home in the car and then throw it out of the car. There ain't no evidence, there ain't no problem. No drinking problem there. No, you're a fucking alcoholic. Get over yourself, bitch, and quit drinking. It should not be that fucking hard for you. It wasn't that hard for me to quit drinking. It was a lot harder to quit smoking. But hell, honestly, for that, I reckon we can thank the U.S. goddamn government. Living so goddamn hard, I couldn't afford it. And boy, howdy, ankle twist. Wouldn't I enjoy having a smoky treat? Especially after walking home through this route that is oh so lovely. And the fucking emissions on that one. Like I said, you wonder why the state has such problems. Is there a safe way to walk? Not really. Is there some hillbilly ain't fixed their car in forever because fuck the world, they're happy about it? Yeah, no. But hey, y'all, at least we know that no immigrant will ever feel safe in this country, right? Yeah, America, winning. Like I said, maybe there's a reason that there's so much trash everywhere. Maybe it's a reflection of our country. Maybe the country's trashed because we are in fact trash. Hell, Americans, prove me wrong. Do something that isn't white trash out here. I'd love to see just the tiniest bit of humanity in this world. Hey, as I said, y'all, I'm trying to be more positive, but right now, I'm positive that I'm trying my best not to die. Right now, I'm pretty positive that my state is a shithole. Right now, oh, I've got another person. That's cool. Oh. I mean, that's not that big a surprise. So, anyone who's watching that watches the live stream on the video games, I already know that's none of y'all, but I'm still going to say it like someone actually cares. Anyone that watches the live stream on the games, once I get, that's just a whole ass paintbrush with paint on it. That's bad for humans and nature. Plastic bottle. Plastic wrap. Either way. Yep. Okay, y'all, for the business part of the line, or business part of it, I guess I'm gonna get home, get coffee for in the morning before I go home, so after I stop recording, but before I get home, pick up coffee for in the morning with whatever change I got left over in tips, get a small bottle of cleaner, because I need to get new pads for the mop as well, but we do with what we got, and all I've got's a few tips. Aw, that's lovely. I wish I was there with my foo man. I miss you all so much. Like I said, y'all, real talk, before we got to this part of the walk, I wasn't gonna show it, I wasn't gonna show y'all, but I was genuinely thinking I was about to have a problem. And being that we're in this part of the shittiest part of America, I mean, if I dropped from heat stroke, I think I would just die on this roadside. And all I gotta do is do it again tomorrow, y'all. When we started the walk, I had 5 miles under my steps already. And that's with my phone charging the entire time I was at work. Well, at least for the first half of the time I was at work doing prep and running around the restaurant. Opa! I said, y'all, it's rough. I'm not saying it is woe is me. I'm saying it is anyone else having an easier time of this hellscape we call a country? I mean, clearly some of y'all are. I see a bunch of you going out to have fun, go to the river, boat around, dick off. Driving and wasting gas to get there, which seems lovely and magical to me. If I could do anything, I'd go to the library right now. See what new books that might be out on fucking neurobiology. Maybe something on how to rewild this grassland to be more like Georgia and less like dipshit. That was just a straight up, whatchamacallit, one of the little stabby pine needle ball things. 1 second, I might find another one. Either way, shoes are on their last legs. I miss Shifu. I miss you guys too. I honestly wasn't gonna say it earlier because I don't want to worry nobody or be that kind of a channel. But I did think I was gonna be writing a eulogy for myself and that mosquito patch back there. I mean, I don't know how I forgot the lyrics to every song ever, considering I try to fancy myself the bard of the group. But yeah, I couldn't even. I might not get a coffee for in the morning. I don't think I got the cash for it. I might just get one of them there energy soda frosties from the JoJo's and just fucking deal with not having nothing in the morning. It sucks, but I'll be alright, y'all. It'll always get darkest before the dawn, and it will get better. I said, I apologize. I realize a lot of people got it a lot worse. It's difficult, you know? I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to think of good things, rewilding things, getting the channel to take off. Hell, just today I was trying to find ways to bridge the gap in between me and some of the other people. But it's hard for me to find ways to bridge the gap when it's like, okay, but why are you? Because it's July the 4th. Okay, but why are you patriotic over that? Because it's July the 4th. Okay, but what? It's Independence Day. Okay, you do realize when we declared independence for us, we didn't declare independence for everybody. And there was a good chunk of the population that didn't get independence for like almost 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 years after that. It's Independence Day. Did you have fun on the 4th? Did you have a cookout? Did you have fun with your family on the 4th? Did you have a cookout? It's like, hey, y'all, can I get out the dialogue tree that's fuck off? I mean, honestly, if that's all you have to ask, kindly fuck off. No, I did not have a good 4th. I'm embarrassed to be an American. I'm embarrassed of my country and our actions both here and abroad. I think it's goddamn shameful that 25 kids are, well, 25 people, they're not all children, I'm hoping, but 25 fucking people are missing in Texas. Yet we could give billionaires a buyout and we can still fund a genocide that is not benefiting us in any way. Because no genocide will ever benefit anybody. But even so, we've got a mad dog in the Middle East that is now just randomly attacking things. And the only thing that I keep seeing on my stupid fucking shorts feed is bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb. And it's like, I'm not even being a joke. That's like the song. It's one song that keeps playing. Because apparently America has the same maturity level that we did during the first forever war in the Middle East. Something that even y'all's dipshit fucking dictator fascist was against when he first went in. I thought y'all was gonna have the peaceful dove president, the no more war president. Oh, never mind. We're fucking embedded in World War III. It's just not gonna be World War III because the rest of the world is far more advanced than America. We might have dangerous weapons, but we got dipshits running them. Again, y'all, we spent over a fucking $1 billion to kill Middle Eastern children, but we just lost 25 of our own in a flash flood. And as of right now, we do not know about 24 of them. We've got one body recovered so far. And when they say body recovered, y'all, that's not a good thing. That's not a yay, no, they found the corpse of one of the children that got washed out. Hey, you know what would have helped them find the child before they became a corpse? Fucking FEMA funding. But no, the dipshit Trump supporters are going to say, but we got alligator Alcatraz, we're winning, yay! And I fucking hate it. I don't know how to find happiness here. I don't know how to find a middle ground. Literally, the poor are getting bled out, and a good chunk of those poor are shouting, yay, because at least the migrants are getting hurt more. And I don't know how to settle that, you know? I don't. I keep trying to find ways to settle that because I know this is maybe this is getting views, but this is like the least productive way to spend my impotent rage. But it's like, I'm so sick of business as usual. I'm so sick of telling someone something that is just news. It's just MSNBC front page news. It's about your country. It's not like I'm talking about the fact that we bombed a nuclear site that was for nuclear research and development, for nuclear power plants. Because America is the only country that has their head jammed so far up big oil's ass that they think there's an infinite supply of oil. Other countries, and by that I mean every other country, is looking for a better fuel source. Hey, guess what, dipshits? One of those fuel sources is nuclear. And if we find a way to utilize nuclear power properly, which again, I give no credit to America being able to do this because we are a country of fucking dipshits. But in other countries with like college plans and that invest in their people, not their corporations, those countries might figure out nuclear power. Our country is probably still going to be using fucking fossil fuel while everyone else has flying cars. Because right now, our country is one of the only ones that doesn't have health care for everybody. And again, I'm probably going to scare people doing this, so I'm going to bring the volume and the energy down a little bit. But again, y'all, we live in a country where I can go right now, at this moment, overheated, pissed off, I can go right now and get a gun. And in 3 days to a week, I'll have that gun in my hands and all the ammo a paycheck from Walmart can buy. If I tried to get an official therapist, like a person to sit down and listen to my bullshit and just nod along for about 3 days and then finally, okay, so here's what can help. But to get one of those, it's going to be a 3-month wait at least. At least, minimum. And that's with all the money in the fucking world, but no health insurance. You got health insurance? Cool. It'll be about a month, but you're going to have to pay a shitload out of pocket. And in my case, you'd have to go somewhere outside of this area because there ain't nobody in this area that would cover my bullshit. But again, I could get a gun easy peasy 1, 2, 3-zy. That's one of the problems with our country. One of the big problems with our country is that right there. Because whereas I'm a millennial, so I've lived through the Forever War, and I've lived through the Great Not Depression, don't you dare call it a depression, it was just a long-ass recession, you know, just like me and my ex-wife will eventually get back together again. Don't call it a divorce, it's just a breakup. Yeah, right, but either way, that was a joke. I have no interest in getting back with Patty. The point is a picture one of these kids that already knows they're not going to get a future. They're not going to have some grand thing coming to them. They're not going to be the next astronaut. They're not going to be the next nuclear physicist or anything like that. What they can get and hope for is that their local Walmart might hire them for Walmart bucks. And maybe if they work hard enough in Walmart, they can claw their way up to maybe living in a fucking trailer. While the planet burns down around them, they might be able to afford a Nintendo Switch 2 in 10 years on a payment plan. But don't fret, you can buy your ramen noodles on back order now. I'm not surprised at all that the shooting epidemics are going up. I'm actually surprised it's not happening more frequently. I think that's a good sign to how the kids aren't all bad. And how for every Columbine you got at least 2 more Greta Thunbergs trying their best to fix some of the problems. My biggest thing, and what everybody else should be thinking too, though, is it enough? And will it do anything? I'm finally in a slightly cooler area. Oh my God. It's so unpleasant here. But at least here, as I walk through the soft grass and the poison plants, at least here, it's cool for a bit. And y'all, like I said, it's part of it's just reaching out to your community. It's a muscle that has to be used. And every time you work with your community, you flex it. As much as I get doomery, oh God, here comes more of the sun. As much as I become doomered when I'm marching in the hot sun there are things to be happy about, even in this darkest of eras. As an example, Madani is still doing great. The cowardly, bootlicking, pathetic Democrats in New York that wish to put Gavin Newsom back, or whatever the piece of shit. Oh, it's a baby deer. Well, it was a baby deer. I can see its spots on its flank. Oh, there's the rest of its head. That's rather depressing. Well, at least none of the kids will notice what it is at a distance as they drive past. I thought it was just a deflated ball. Like I said, guys, it's hard to be fucking upbeat when it's like, well, what do you do when you see that? Imagine the joy and the beauty of seeing a baby deer, a tiny fawnling. It just barely has its legs up under it. The beauty and the true pinnacle of innocence in nature. No, I don't get to see one looking all cute and walking. No, I get to see its flattened remains, cooked on the asphalt, to where all you can see are 3 or 4 little white dots. To know that that was once a beautiful, adorable young life that would have gone on to do something to help balance nature, would have fed some kind of part of the species or part of the food web, and instead, well, now it gets to disturb somebody who sees it, and all the beauty gets sucked out of their day. Like I said, y'all, I'm trying to be the change. I'm trying to be the beauty. I'm trying to be the difference. But hell, y'all, what do you do? How do you find that happiness and beauty when all that's around you is burnt shit? I mean, look at that. It's like you can see the ghost of the grasslands. The last goodbye of a plain before it gets turned into that. Ugly little squares and dead little lands. And I'm so happy that I have Myth America and all my books back, because now I'll hopefully be able to take some notes and give y'all a lot more cohesive, breakdowns of what I'm saying rather than just referencing random things. See, I'm jealous of that cool fucker there. That's a cool motherfucker right there. I can't even knock that vehicle. Highly electric, perfectly sized for them. They can get their groceries, get their shit done, and get home. I bet that motherfucker's dick slaps his feet when he walks. Like I said, guys, it's a crass way of saying it, but it's like, since that's all the manosphere dipshit seems to grasp, why not talk like that for a bit? I can do it. It's like we got to meet them where they're at. What if I don't want to meet them no more? What if I want to meet them in a different way? What if I want to meet them in this bullshit combat they constantly talk about they so good at? But as soon as you take out your fucking whipping stick and you go, okay, let's do it then. They suddenly back down and it's, oh, why are you being violent? Oh, why are you being angry? You said you wanted to fight. I want to fight. Let's fight. They don't know what to do when they deal with crazy. Like I said, most of it's probably just inlaid heat, stroke, and putting everything I got into it in order to hopefully make it home in one piece. Even though I do think, God damn this bag. Even though I think I'll be leaving little pieces of me all down this road. Like I said, y'all, I do my best. And we're almost there. It's not going to be long now. Like I said, y'all, maybe one day I'll be able to get a job at a local store nearby. And it'll feel less like I'm having a heat stroke all the time. Then again, maybe one day I'll live in a nice enough area that when a neighbor sees you walking, they'll at least pull over and we can have a conversation or something, you know? I don't know if they're drawn away because of the phone and because people are scared to let themselves be seen. I'm not. Y'all just saw me have an ugly breakdown on the walk home. Congratulations, we had a bonding moment. You saw how human I am. Because, yeah, y'all, it's not all ponies and rainbows. Like I said, I'm going to get home and claw the shit out my legs for a good 20 minutes. Because even though I've got shoes and pants and socks, I've been marching through ankle-high poison ivy and poison oak through a good chunk of the walk. And yeah, you could try to avoid it, but again, come back and pause the video and just look at what you walk through here. There's no way to dodge it. It is the plants. The only effective way to get through it would be for the state to not be shitty and for the shitty state to actually tend to their fucking roads. And I can't entirely blame them considering, you know, all of the U.S.'s budgets got cut so Bezos could have the wedding that he paid for and so that everyone, all those billionaires, could get the tax cuts and breaks they paid for. Because remember, the last tax breaks they got from the first Trump administration were set to expire this year. They're not only not expiring, they're getting even more. And what are all of us poor folks getting? Say it with me now. We're getting fucked. But look on the bright side, it's better than the immigrants. Because who do you think they're going to replace you and me with when they need the slave labor to build their little empire? Do you think they're going to be paying, you know, American union wages? Fuck no. They're still expecting to pay the fucking immigrant wages. They just expect you patriotic dipshits, to knuckle down and do it for their wages. And maybe y'all do that. I won't. I personally think that if half you American patriots were half as patriotic as you say to claim to be, you'd be taking a permanent vacation right now and saying, hey, until my country represents me, I ain't doing shit for it. But then again, that would take a degree of bravery I don't think many Americans have. Because again, we are real brave in Call of Duty forums. We're real patriotic and brave on the internet, on keyboards. I challenge any one of you Trump supporting dipshits, and I know there's quite a few of you live out in my area. I'm not even saying fight. We're not going to fight. This will be two gentlemen like a Mark Twain novel. You bring your walking stick and your phone. I'll bring mine. You can bring a friend to record us as we walk. And we'll just go point for fucking point. You can cite your sources. I can cite my sources. We can have us a puppy. We can have us a good old time. But again, that would require some of you dipshits to pry your cheese and cum-ridden hands off of your controllers and keyboards and to stretch those, you know, necrofied legs that you haven't moved since 2016 and actually come out here and face the fucking world you helped create. Come out here and play in the fires of hell with me. I dare you, Republicans. I dare you. Again, I'm not saying violently. We ain't gonna fight. I ain't about that. Well, I'm a little bit about that, but I'm about that in a pleasant, let's do it in the gym, have fun kind of way. I'm not saying let's fight. I'm saying let's have a lovely argument and a walk. Because hell, I've had this type of talk several times. Little Mr. Pro-military, I'm a badass solid snake, big boss cousin of mine, supposedly going to be a Navy SEAL, then a Special Forces Marine, then a military contractor. Kid can't even keep up walking with me, y'all. Now let's be clear, I don't think I'm a badass for what I'm doing. I think I'm partially crazy. And I think that hopefully, through expressing this particular level of insanity that I am, marching through the heat and showing y'all this route a little bit further than I normally sign off on. We're going to sign off at JoJo's this time. That y'all might understand why I get so upset. Especially when I be watching something on the TV or the YouTubes. Be safe out there, friend. Or the YouTubes. And I hear this crap about, oh, all Americans drive everywhere. Americans are addicted to their automobiles. Look at me. Look at me. Thank you. Look at me. I'm not. Am I happy? I would very much appreciate a Vespa. I would very much love to have a tiny vehicle, perhaps even like a tiny motorcycle. Don't be cute about it. I don't want a child's bike, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't need it to be big. I don't need it to be fancy, but that'd be nice. I still would only use it to get back and forth to work, and I'd want something fitted exactly to my needs, not, well, look at all those. And I'm not at all calling me do this the better way. Look at all those, and by no means am I calling any one of them out. But that much power, that much get up and go. If you're not traveling out of the state of Georgia, why do you need that much combustion? Why don't we get more economic cars for our needs? Fit the tools that we have to the task. But I mean, then again, look who I'm talking to. I'm talking to a culture that's been bred and treated to basically consume. I mean, I've done it too, and I do it. Y'all should see how shameful my art supply collection's becoming. But it's because I'm hoping to put it all to use. And I'm sure all these people are hoping to put all of their hoarding to use. But it's like, I just don't understand, I suppose, the need to constantly build an ever-growing collection of garbage and eventually have it eat you. Because you can't really, I mean, maybe that's the other side of it, is I've always almost taken a weird kind of pride in the fact that up until the cat decided to turn my camping sack into a shit sack, at any time I could just pick up my sack, load all of my earthly possessions in it, and dip. I mean, not that I would, but I could. And I prided myself on that ability that I could do. So let's face it, if you've got enough possessions to fill a house, even a modest, beautiful little home like these homes, you're not going anywhere in a hurry now, are you? You can hardly carry all your stuff on your back. Most of y'all couldn't carry all your stuff in your oversized, overpumped vehicles. And I just gotta wonder, it's like, why amass such collections? Why such testaments to our hubris? I mean, do you realize that some of our fellows in this crumbling economy have decorated their refrigerators? And I don't mean like, oh, my kid did a cute picture, I'm putting that on the fridge. No, they decorate the inside of their fridge with like Mickey Mouse ice-style water slides and tiny little trees and other bullshit to make their fridge have a theme. And my fridge also should have a theme. Right now its theme is empty. But for the record, I wish my fridge had the theme of full and ready for holidays, you know? That's the only theme my fridge needs to have. It don't need decor in it, it just needs food, beverages. I hope I still have that half a container of cold water, because I really need to hydrate when I get home. Oh, don't fall. Okay. We're doing good. And another reason to cry out this particular neighbor's prowess in planting. Notice, they've got native species growing together, and then a safety line, and then more species growing together. This is a well-maintained yard. I'm not going to show you all the yard because it is not my yard, but it is a well-maintained yard, and they should be proud. Especially considered that, you know, around them, some of our neighbors only have the bare minimum of life. And then they just have flat greenery because someone sold them the idea that that was an ideal yard. And I don't want to be mean. Don't be mean to them. But I feel bad for them. Can't we all agree that that's just a sad little yard with no life? Compared to, again, not showing you the house or the people, but compared to this, look at that. That's life. These people have a life. Those people are waiting to die. You know what I mean? That's what their yard's giving, just empty space. Hey yo. That's the thing. Nice to have some light. See, now at least the car's getting up and going. That one's got some speed to it. But we made it. And we've made it to our local JoJo's. And it's a lazy, lazy sign. The sign ain't normally that bad. And Milam's Bridge. That's a historic bridge there that no longer exists, but the plaque's still there. I'm about to go in here, get an energy icy, go to the bathroom, and then make my final jut home. Y'all have a wonderful day. Remember, community first, stick together. If you're out playing in hell today like I was, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And maybe look up wet bulbs, climate change, and your local plants and greeneries in order to combat said climate change. Just because the odds are against us don't mean we've lost. Stick together, and remember, endure and survive, folks. I love you. Stay happy, stay hydrated. See you later. But did I cook the... There we go. I was about to say, did I cook the phone and now the button isn't working? There we go. Okay.